You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
The Oilers don't play for like 4 more days. What are you even doing here? Let's get into it with the lead. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. Remember, you can win $50 to Sports Closet every home game edition of this show.
Whoa.
Yeah, that'll help you out with your Christmas shopping. The show is brought to you by Bet365, or is presented by Bet365. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Yes, we are in the middle of a weird mini bye week for the Edmonton Oilers, so we're just kind of chilling for the next few days. Thank God they beat the Rangers the way they did.
I know.
Yeah, that thought crossed my mind today as I was driving in. It was like, if they would have lost 6-2 to the Rangers, what would this week of shows been like? Instead, we'd be chilling.
Yeah, I thought about that as well before the game, to be honest. Like, God, I hope they just figure this out for this one game. Otherwise, like you said, I don't even know what we would have talked about. Probably like more trade rumors of like how they are gonna fix things in like the negative way, I guess you could say. More than being like Jacob Trouba, Chris Kreider. You know what I mean? That could have been us.
Could have been us.
It could have been us. That's a question I have for DJ.
I have a Christmas take here from Maynard.
Already, it's not even December.
He said, Christmas shopping equals gift cards. I'm going to tell you right now. If there's anyone in your life that you are buying a gift card for Christmas, just go to them and say, hey, let's not do gifts. It's that easy.
Like, my family does gift cards, but it'll be stuff like already got other things too. And it'll be like, hey, I also got you a $50 gas.
Yeah, okay, sure. Like, that's...
What if I get my nephew a, like, dollar amount for like PlayStation Store? That's different, right?
That's
I get
different
because like you could get him the game, but no, I'm a download guy for games, and I assume he is too.
I get my sister's boyfriend a stream gift card.
Okay,
and
different.
Something else every year. Like I gave him like 2 things, but I gave him like a $50 stream gift card and then one other thing, and that's his gift because that's what he does. It's his hobby.
Yeah, like
Also
I buy
different.
my nephew the gift, but I give him the card so he can download it to his system.
And it's not a Subway.
Situational.
Yeah, it's different than like a Subway gift card.
But like even that, like, so, or when it's like, hey, I got you like the $100 Visa card. And it's like, you paid like 5% tax on this. And then you also pay, there's like another tax on top of it for it. It's like, that's just a waste of money. Wise Cal gift cards are for the people who you don't know what to get. Yeah. And I'm saying if there's someone in your life who you struggle that hard to buy a gift for them,
don't buy them.
Just don't buy them a gift and go to them and say, hey, we don't need to do Christmas presents together.
I've thought about something. I would like to get your opinion on this since we're on the gift card topic. So, you know me, I'm a rewards extraordinaire. I love to claim reward points wherever I can.
Yeah.
So there's this rewards thing right now at a local grocery store. No free ads. I won't say who it is. So if I buy the gift card, I get if I buy $100 gift card, I get 150 points or whatever it would be. It works out to be a value of $150 spent. And then if I buy the gift card and then go and do my grocery shopping, I can double up on those points probably, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think I might do that.
What grocery store are you talking about?
Kind of similar.
Okay.
Kind of similar, but like Amber and I, whenever we go to Costco, there's the gift card rack.
Yes.
And you can get $80 in gift card or $100 in gift cards for $80. That night it'll be like, hey, if we're going out to eat or if we know like Wednesday we're going for wings, just buy the gift cards. You're going to use them. It's basically a free $20.
That is smart.
Also, they offer it. You can get $500 in airline gift cards for $450
from
Costco.
Whoa.
And if you're like me and you have the Costco MasterCard, you're also getting, I think, like 4% back on that purchase. So if you're ever going to book a flight somewhere, just go to Costco first and get the gift cards. It's basic $50 off your flight.
And you can do that on a variety of airlines.
I don't know. I know like WestJet is for sure there.
Okay,
I think I saw like Porter there or whatever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy.
My wife does that. We got a PS5 for free and points with PC. Yes, my sister and her husband just did this. They had a bunch of benefits to use up. So they went to Superstore and my brother-in-law got like 2 new pairs of glasses or a new pair of glasses. Because Superstore is running a promo, they got enough PC points that their $200 and some grocery bill is free.
Whoa.
And then the glasses are covered under his benefits, so everything was free.
Couponing is crazy.
It is actually nuts.
It's actually nuts what you
Respect
can
the
do now.
game.
Yeah,
I
you have
remember when I moved into my new house, I had to get like patio furniture and like a few other things, a TV. The TV was for my office, so I expensed it. LOL. But they were doing a thing. They were doing a thing that was for every $100 you spent, you got the equivalent of $20 back in PC points.
So you expense that TV for
It's-
$100.
It's in my office.
And you got $100 worth of PC points?
And I bought like a bunch. I bought like my barbecue there and all this stuff. we got like $600 in PC points back buying like
Whoa.
patio furniture and like barbecues
Damn.
and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Let us know your
There's
best
and it feels
rewards
like
for
you're
it.
robbing them.
I know. It's like you almost feel bad.
Yeah, but like
You got to be it's a dangerous
Capitalism.
world out there. You
Yeah.
gotta yes. This
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was good. There you go.
Yeah, that was good.
Coupon.
Back to the gift card thing. Dangerous Wade. Situational gift card is cool. Random gift card is horrible gift giving. 100%.
Agreed.
Like, again, throwing in like a $10 to Tim's is like, all right, like I can see that. It's the add-in or like you guys. But if you're just like, someone was like an Amazon gift card. No, just find them something cool. Like if you do
Sure.
not know the person enough where you can't go on Amazon or go to the mall and in like an hour be like, wow, they would think this is neat, then don't buy them gifts.
Totally.
All right. There we
Right.
go. We all good?
Someone asked about Matt Rempe in the chat. Actually, I shouldn't say someone. Mean it again.
Yeah.
I remember what Matt Rempe used to play for the Spruce Grove Saints. Some people don't know that.
Mhm.
And his first game was against the Sherwood Ford Crusaders. And I remember watching that guy and just thinking, like, where did they find this guy from? He was so bad. And then he got drafted. And then last night, obviously, it was Jake Neighbors who he like flattened to the ice.
For no reason. Took a terrible penalty.
I'm pretty sure those two, I should have looked this up. They probably like skate together. In
They're both
assemblies.
Calgary boys.
Yeah, I would assume they've played together
Similar
at some
age.
point. Let me look here quickly. But very stupid. Like Matt Rempe, I know he wants to be this big tough guy, and he is. Don't get me wrong, but like that's just so dumb.
If we're ranking relatively useless players in the NHL, and again, like not even to disrespect him all that much, but like he has 1 goal in 21 career games.
Yeah.
Maynard says that the fact he's in the league is ridiculous. It is. Like I would sooner have Derek Ryan playing every night than Matt Rempe. And that's, I feel like shouldn't even be considered that spicy of a take. He's useless. The role of a fighter is useless. It is a waste of a roster spot. Go find a guy who's good on the PK or who can do literally anything of value. It goes back to the conversation we had about Ryan Reeves after he got suspended. There seems to be this whole, if you have a guy like that in the lineup, dumb stuff won't happen. And then it's just those guys starting and doing the dumb stuff.
Yeah, it is silly, isn't it? At the end of the day, like he's not even doing well in the American League, and I just don't like the whole Rangers situation right now is so strange to me. Like I just don't know what they're trying to be. Like people last night, so they lost again yesterday. Maynard again, coming the third part of the show today. Was pointing out that how Zibanejad was -4 yesterday. He was -3 yesterday, and he had a point. So, and then there was a video of him like going around, and the Rangers fans were upset that he wasn't like jumping in scrums and stuff. It's
3 straight minuses, by the way.
Yeah, and he's only -10 on the season.
Yeah.
So that shows how bad he's been the last 2 or 3 games at least. I don't know, like Mika Zibanejad, that's just not what he does. You know what I mean? Like,
so
you're
I'm just looking at some of the numbers on Zibanejad. I know plus minus isn't great, but it is like somewhat of a blanket indicator of like,
yeah,
he on the ice for more goals or against. He has 4 games this year where he's greater than a +1. He's been +2 4 times. Never been +3.
How many points does he have?
Wait.
Okay.
There have been 5 games this year where he's -3 or worse.
Ooh.
So there have been, and if you go 7 games this year where he's -2 or worse, and only again 4 where he's +2 or better. He has 15 points in 20 games, but is a -13. He looks so disengaged. It's ridiculous. And there was a play the other day in the Rangers game where him and Trouba, I think, were the 2 guys who were the reason kind of the 2 turnovers happened. And a Rangers fan was like, that is a $16.5 million goal against right there.
Yeah.
It's wild. It is wild.
He's fallen off. He had 91 points 2 years
also, like, they're always going to be, in quotes, fine because they're the Rangers. But, like, Shesterkin is a pending UFA. He is the best goalie in the NHL, and he is a pending UFA. That is not getting talked about enough. That dude is this close to going to Vegas. And for our sake, Oilers' sake, You better hope the Rangers get this guy locked up because the only other team who can afford him is Vegas.
Yes, that is true. So this is not gonna. I'm not even gonna say it. I hope Vegas doesn't get him. Obviously,
yeah.
The Rangers, like, is this why they're trying to move off guys? Like, I don't get it. I feel like you should be like pushing to keep guys like Shesterkin around and just like trading guys like Kreider and Trouba. Like, just seems like you're going in the wrong direction.
100%. All right. There's something I wanted to talk to everybody about. AB, do you have the Oilers' schedule for December? So we've been kicking around this idea for a while. We're getting close to the holiday season, and I thought it would be cool. What if we threw like a little holiday party for the show?
Yes.
Good idea.
We're in.
December schedule. Here's what I'm looking, because I don't want to do home games because I don't want people to be like, I'm going to the game, like whatever. Don't want to do weekends because I think people usually have plans on weekends. But there's on the 12th, they play Minnesota. I think that's a 6 o'clock puck drop there. What if there's a bar right below our studio?
What if there was?
There is. There is. There's a bar right below our studio. December 12th. If we did it, there's TVs in the bar, all that stuff. That way, we'll do pre and post game from the bar, and we're all in the same building that we are currently in right now. What if we did a holiday party? So come, I think we can fit about 30, 40 people down there, which I think is a good number.
It'll be intimate, and I like that.
It'll be good. And there's TVs down there. We'll do pre and post game. I'll get Jay to give us like a bunch of prizes. I'll maybe even get like some of our sponsors to give us some prizes. So we'll do like a show up. We'll make sure the place is stocked with Nation beer. We'll get a keg of Nation beer and all that. The food at Dog Patch is unbelievable.
Oh, so good.
So we'll have Nation beer. We'll have Dog Patch food. And we'll do a little holiday party with us and everybody watching.
I think that sounds fantastic.
Okay.
I love going sitting in Dog Patch, to be honest. It's a nice little spot. Tucked away. But it's the best.
Let us know in the chat if you would come.
I'll come.
Because we got to make sure people show up to this.
Yeah. Just write in the chat, I'm in and I'm bringing gift cards.
Well, maybe don't say that.
Don't bring your gift card.
Don't bring gift cards. Someone said do it a little later. It's finals week. Mulek says he's busy that week. How are you busy for a whole week?
Maybe he's a student.
Lance, can I come? Yes. Woozai, do it. Yes. Okay, we'll do it. Winnipeg doesn't have an airport. That sucks. I'd come from Seattle. There's no way you'd come from Seattle.
Calvin. You're welcome to come.
Lance, my best friend Tyler's inviting me to a party. I'll be there. Bo, I'm down.
Check your schedule.
Yeah,
bro.
I know December's busy. December's busy. What else do we have? AB, flash up the schedule again. I feel like the 12th. Mulek said the 19th. What day?
That's a home game.
It's a home game. We can't do home games.
It's like the only weekday away game.
And we're not doing like the other two games are weekends during the holidays. Like a lot of people will be away.
Yeah, we got to pull the trigger. It's either Tuesday the 3rd, but that's too close to now.
That's next Tuesday.
That's next Tuesday. We got to do the 12th. We got to do the 12th.
Yes.
Okay, we're doing the 12th. All right. Dog Patch, right in the River Valley. It is super close to downtown. We'll start putting out like some promo for it and all that. We'll have some prizes. We'll do like trivia. We'll all watch the game together. Aaron will do pre and post from the bar. It'll be good.
I like what Devin just said there. Driving down from Winnipeg for that game in Minnesota. Can't wait.
Oh, that'll be sweet.
That'll be sweet. I think one thing we should do for this event too, and we did this for our 15th birthday party. Do you remember we had those name tags and it was like I'm whatever? That'd be cool to do again.
Yeah, we'll do that
this time.
If you put your YouTube name,
that's what I mean. Like I'm blank. My real name is Phil.
Epiphany, is it wheelchair accessible? Yes, Dog Patch is wheelchair accessible.
Yes, it is.
And there's an elevator that brings you down to the bathrooms. We got an elevator in our building. So Kyle says might be tight, but I'll be able to swing it.
But then you can make it. That's my money.
Lance says I'll make sure the wife drives me that night.
Hey,
which one of us gets the Airbnb upstairs?
Dibs.
All of us. Let's go.
And we'll be up in that studio by then too.
Hey, it's actually, if someone wanted to rent out the other Airbnb, you're welcome to. I don't know how you
Are you checking availability immediately?
Airbnb Riverdale.
We got quite the setup here in this building for people who don't know where we are.
You know how happy Jay would be if I got the Airbnb rented out?
And the thing is too, like if you're coming alone, for example, but there's somebody who you want to bring, there's 2 beds in the Airbnb. There's a pull-out bed.
That's true.
Okay, where are we in Edmonton?
101 58 90th Street.
There you go, just past Riverside Golf Course. is Dog Patch all ages in the evening. And this event, yeah, it is.
No, that's not.
Dangerous Wade. You're welcome to bring whoever you'd like.
Little Brick, we're like more down. Are we closer to the river from Little Brick? No, there's Dog Patch. The Airbnb's full that night.
Who booked it?
There's a house down the street for $600 though.
Hey, if you want to go to that.
Mulek says, wait, I'm wrong. So Mulek might be in.
No, he's talking about the guy on waivers, I think.
Puustinen from Pittsburgh's on waivers.
Talking hockey?
He's talking about hockey. Who is that?
Halfway says, I will come from Saskatoon if you can guarantee me an entry. Yes, guaranteed.
Yeah, we will.
Just tell me who you are and I will make sure.
I think we have the ability to pull that.
I got some pull strings here. Seriously, give me a
office address. Dog Patch.
Dog Patch
is the name of the bar.
10158 90th Street.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll just look up Dog Patch Edmonton. We are in this building.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Dog Patch all ages in the evening?
Yeah.
Yes, it's always all ages, I think.
I think it's always.
Yeah. So there you go. It's all ages. If you're listening to this and you're 16, you can come. You can't drink Nation beer, but you can come. So there you go. We got it locked down. ONE, Oilers Nation, holiday party at Dog Patch. Let's go. On the 12th.
I think it's going to be fantastic, to be honest.
Great work, everybody. This was that was some solid planning by everyone in the chat here. Okay. What do we have to get to next?
We really struggled to piece this together today. Obviously, we got DJ coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we go around the NHL? Should we do the giant question?
Let's do the giant question. So if you go to Oilersnation.com right now, there's an interesting piece with Stan Bowman sat down with Mark Spector, and Zach kind of went through and parsed some of the clips. So go read the full piece at Spec. If you want the Coles note, Zach's got it. But great work from Spec, and it kind of inspired our Sherwood Ford Giant question of the day, brought to you by, guess who? Our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant. If for whatever reason you have not gotten your winter tires changed over yet, Sherwood Ford can help you out. If you're like, I'm too busy, because as Chell said in the chat, some people have real jobs. That is why you use the Nation Valet service. They'll come, pick up your vehicle, drive it to the dealership, do all the work, drive it back. They'll even store your summer tires for you. Some of the many great things that our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant, offer as part of their fantastic service department. Here's what Bowman said. He was asked about production from some of the forwards, and he said, nervous is not really how I'm looking at it. The question was about Hyman, Nuge, Skinner, and Arvidsson, who have just 11 goals in 80-man games played. Not good. He added, but more like it's weird. We've got such poor production from those players, and if you look at the numbers, under the numbers, the analytics, we're doing a lot of good things. We should be scoring a lot more goals. And my question to you, the Sherwood Ford Giant question, everyone in the chat can chime in, which forward are you most concerned about out of that group?
So Skinner, Arvidsson, Nuge, and Hyman.
Correcto.
Nuge. I think Arvidsson and Skinner, like, they're not being let off, but like Skinner has 4 goals.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's kind of been buried in the lineup, but I'm not like that upset. I think he's just had limited opportunities. Arvidsson seemed to have actually been like getting his legs a little bit underneath him before he got injured. Hyman's expected goals are so high that, like, I just feel like that's going to turn around and he's going to be totally fine. But like, Nuge for me is last couple of games he's been better, but he doesn't seem very dangerous. And I think he's playing next to McDavid. He should be producing way more than he should be. Like, Naeem put in the chat that I'm most worried about Arvidsson just because of the injuries. Like, yeah, that's 100% true. But like, just from like pure, like, if they're on the ice, Nuge is the one for me. It's like, okay, you play on the top power play unit. You're next to McDavid quite often. Yeah. And you're not looking dangerous. Like, Hyman has looked dangerous in moments this year.
Yeah, and the other thing too, like, Nuge just hit some posts, so like there's that. If those posts go in, do you view him different? But again, like, 2 posts going in doesn't actually change my perception of Nuge that much now that I say it. And I do agree with you in that sense. And also, if you look at the NHL edge, Nuge has gotten slower this year. Which is a little bit concerning considering where he's at in his career. I said Zach kind of sums up nicely the Bowman quotes and all of that. He also added in a really interesting part. Again, we'll put the link to Zach's article in the show today so you can go read it for yourself. But he added in, examining this year's numbers versus last year's through the team's first 22 games, Edmonton's defensive metrics have improved. Not by much, mind you, but they're allowing 0.45 fewer goals against per hour, and most notably have reduced their scoring chances against rate by 1.98 per hour, their high danger chances against by 1.8 per hour, high danger goals against by just over 1 per hour. So there's a couple of other numbers in there. So defensively, they're better.
Yeah.
And I do think that's an interesting part of this. I will say, like, when I look at, I think Nuge is Nuge now. And as much as I'm like, concerned, I'm still like, you know what you're getting in him, right? relatively reliable in a lot of senses. Hyman, he'll snap out of it. Skinner and Arvidsson worry me for a couple things. One is Jeff Skinner square peg round hole here. Does Knobloch not like him? He has been getting a lot of looks next to McDavid and Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And this is speculative to the nth degree. So is there something McDavid and Draisaitl don't like about it? Like, there's just, now that we're at the 20 game mark, it's kind of like, and with Arvidsson, why has he been day-to-day for 3 weeks almost? And the backs are bad.
Yeah. I was curious to see what he was going to be like last night at that autograph session, like how he was going to.
Was he there?
He was there. He was just sat on a bus.
Was he in one of those old school neck things? Like he has a broken spine?
Wheelchair, yeah. Full body suit.
Full body cast.
But it's still undisclosed.
Yeah, but the Skinner thing is interesting, like you said. Like Arvidsson and Podkolzin and even Nugent Hyman. They are guys who play with McDavid and Hyman.
Yeah.
And McDavid and Draisaitl, sorry, because it seems like they want them to be there. But like Skinner's had his games. He's scored next to McDavid before. And it's just not stuck at all. Like, I hope it works because I like Jeff Skinner and I think he's more than capable of producing. But he needs to find a role on this team too.
Mm-hmm.
But I still do stand by Nuge for his offensive game. He's been relatively fine defensively. Penalty kills coming around with him, but like he needs to get going a bit because he was great in the playoffs too. 22 points, 26 games.
Had big games against Dallas. That series was awesome.
Good.
Game 7 goal against Vancouver. He was great.
That's right. Yeah. So Nuge is what I'm worried about because we've seen him perform better than he is right now.
All right, let's continue this conversation and get out to the Star Mechanical guest line. You can find them online at starmechanical.ca. Residential, commercial, 24/7 emergency services. They do it all. They do it well, and they've been doing it for north of 20 years in the Edmonton area. One of Edmonton's biggest locally owned companies is Star Mechanical. One of Edmonton's biggest fans in general, that would be DJ Bean. He is one half of What Chaos, and he joins us on the Star Mechanical guest line. DJ, it's been a while. How's it going?
Hello, darlings.
Hello.
We were just reminiscing about Nuge and all the great moments he had in the playoffs. How often do you just kick back and think about how much fun the playoffs were?
The playoffs last season were Pete, who is sitting right near me, Pete Blackburn of the What Chaos show, tweeted something saying that the Hurricanes are the most fun team this year. And there was discourse about like, oh, well, what other teams have been fun? Nothing was better, said Pete, than last year's Oilers team. Regular season, when they were terrible. Regular season, when they were amazing. In that postseason, I still can't believe that the Stars Western Conference final didn't go 7 games. Like, what a magnificent postseason. I love him so much. And while I do, I reminisce on like when Zach Hyman would play games and score 1 million goals. I think that we've seen this movie too many times. It's going to be okay. I don't know how it's going to be, but probably just by them having a really good roster.
It's funny because there was that, I think it was last Wednesday or something like that. The Oilers had 5 wins this time last year, and now they're at 12. And anybody would think that the sky is absolutely falling down on this city. And it's not good. Don't get me wrong. Like, things need to get better, but like where they were last season to now is night and day. It's crazy.
It is wild that people are panicked at 12 wins already this year. But I mean, the goaltending is one. Like, how concerned are you about the goaltending, DJ? Let's go there.
0.000 repeating. I suppose that there could be a scenario in which you reach the playoffs and neither of them are doing it, but we saw what happened last year. Like at Stu Skinner's worst, you just put in the Band-Aid of Pickard for a couple of games, and then like would the Oilers have gone on that run last season if Stu wasn't as awesome as he was in the Western Conference final and the Stanley Cup final? No, but I think that he's still, when he's terrible. And usually when he's not terrible, he's really good. He's not always amazing like he was last year, but when he's not terrible, he's really good. That is not the area where I would be spending if I'm the Oilers, the deadline. I'd still be looking at defense. Although, listening to the show a little bit before I jumped on, don't blame you at all for saying, at what point are the forwards going to get going here? I quizzed the guys around the office before I came on. I was looking at the point leaders on the Oilers, and Draisaitl leading the team makes sense. McDavid leading the team makes sense. And then you cut the leader in half to get to the third total, which is 15 points for Evan Bouchard. I guess that's fine that Bouchard's third on the team. Darnell Nurse cannot be fourth on the team in points. He just cannot be. And he can't be tied with another defenseman in Matthias Ekholm with 10 points. At some point, these guys are going to step up, though. I don't worry. I agree with you. I don't worry about Nuge. I think that the Zach Hyman 54 goal days are over, but when he's right, when he's going, you at least know what 2/3 of that first line is going to look like. The Skinner thing, that hurts because they didn't know it at the time when they were signing Jeff Skinner, but this ended up being a Jeff Skinner versus Dylan Holloway thing. And I don't know how you two feel, but as much as I love Jeff Skinner, I would rather have Dylan Holloway on this team right now. Not just because Holloway has been a better player in St. Louis than Skinner's been in Edmonton, but for feeling like less of an old team. When you're struggling and you're the Oilers right now, you can make it about, oh, well, they just have a bajillion old guys. They're the oldest team in the NHL, et cetera, et cetera. If you were doing this with some more younger players, then I think you'd feel a little bit better.
Well, and again, to go to Holloway and Skinner, like, which one had more upside this year? I weirdly think it's Skinner, because if he would have clicked with McDavid or Draisaitl, you're talking 35 plus goals, and Dylan Holloway just doesn't have that in him yet. But in the way they're using Jeff Skinner, it's on the fourth line, it's on the third line, it's in like a checking role. And it's like, okay, if that was the plan all along here, then yes, you should have just kept Dylan Holloway, because Jeff Skinner's not a third or fourth line guy. He's not good defensively. He needs to be in spots where he can score and have the puck on his stick. And that to me is where the concern sets in, because it's like, it's game 22 and they've already kind of written him off as an option in the top 6. And that's not okay.
That has to be fixed at some point, I think, because I don't want him to be their Vladimir Tarasenko, where you're like, hey, remember this name? He's in the lineup, and maybe every now and then he contributes a goal as like a maybe middle sixer, but possibly bottom sixer. Jeff Skinner as a bottom sixer is an absolute nightmare for me, for you, for Jeff Skinner. He serves no role. I dare I say, he might be worth healthy scratching over playing on a fourth line, because he just, as you said, that's just not his game. I think at some point he's going to be playing with McDavid or Draisaitl regularly, although I loved the speculation on your part. Sean, our producer, was also nodding his head. Love the speculation that maybe it's a McDavid or Draisaitl doesn't like him thing.
Can I, if Sean is listening, I don't get jealous very often, but Sean getting a full gift package from my Buffalo Bills is the most jealous I've ever been of anyone else in the hockey media industry. I was like, damn, that is the coolest shit ever.
Boys, I think second best care package in What Chaos show history. Bose actually sent us like a box with like $2,000 in it. Bauer sends great care packages, but Bose actually sent a box full of like wireless headphones and all these things. Bills second.
I would say Bose is most expensive. Bills is the most near and dear to the heart.
Bills is coolest to me.
Bills most sentimental. And like, when you hook up Sean, that's really when you're like, puck and ball. Like when you know, because the freaking Twitter bio of this show, if you never listen to this show, you might not know like how big a part of it Sean is. You listen to 5 seconds of this show, you're like, I'm sending Sean a custom jersey. And I love that his shot is just a mess of random Bills stuff. Quentin Byfield jersey, a Logan Cooley jersey, and a What Chaos Bills jersey. Amazing stuff.
Is Sean a Bills fan, or is this just like a bit?
Oh, Sean.
Oh, brother, am I? I guess I wasn't born in Buffalo, but I've lived in Buffalo my entire life. I'm a diehard Bills fan.
Okay, fuck yeah, I love hearing that. Go Bills.
He's also a Sabres fan, and he gets extremely down on them. And Pete and I have to bring him back up, and he does not want us to bring him back up, because when he hates the Sabres, he wants that feeling to be locked in so he can't get optimistic again. But right now, by points percentage, they are in line for a playoff spot. Sean, they're supposed to make the playoffs. We love it.
Sean, can you imagine a Bills Super Bowl run and a Sabres playoff appearance in the same year?
No, I quite literally cannot. I think that would be the end of Buffalo as we know it.
That's great. Okay, back to the Oilers. Like, I love that we have the entire What Chaos crew on the show today as well. This is a great collab.
Camera.
Yeah, we're all just sitting here on mics. So everybody subscribe to What Chaos. It is exactly what the last couple minutes have been.
Well, this was going to be my like send you off question, but if for the people who are watching right now on our YouTube who have maybe not seen an episode of What Chaos yet this year, give me the number one interview. What's the number one episode they should start with so they can properly fall down the rabbit hole?
I don't know if I know the answer to this. Sean looked like the wheels were maybe turning. I just always go back to listen to us with Cody Cece.
Joey Decord.
Oh, Joey Decord was unbelievable with us. Yeah. Joey Decord.
The Lord of the Rings fellow. What was his name?
Oh, Jacob Lauko. Yeah, Lauko is a cheat code. Lauko is just an absolute content machine.
Mulek is in and says it's the second best show I watch every day. I don't know if he's saying this is the second best or if What Chaos is, but we'll just leave it up to mystery. He also said the Zadorov is good. So if anyone's looking for some good content, What Chaos, Zadorov, CC, both great. I like DeBrincat. That was funny with him and Pete at the little table. That video you put out, that was hilarious. So they do great stuff at What Chaos.
I got one question.
Okay, go.
So we put out an article, DJ, about John Gibson waiving his no trade clause. How convenient of him. Very nice of him to say he wants to play for a Stanley Cup contender. But then you put underneath that the Oilers should go and get Ivan Provorov. Why do you think Provorov would be a fit in Edmonton?
I would rather a defenseman than a goalie for the Oilers. Like, I think that's where they have to spend their money. And it's not amazing behavior, I suppose, to rely on Skinner and Pickard, but call me optimistic. I will roll the dice with the guy who was the best goalie in the Stanley Cup final last year. Like, they just call me crazy. Granted, there were moments in Game 3 where I was cursing Stu Skinner up and down, but he outplayed Sergei Bobrovsky in the Cup final last year. That has to be. It's a hard cap. You can't just go out and upgrade every position that you want to upgrade. The goaltending has to be good enough. Defense, and on that second pairing, I know that right now they got your guy Stetcher on the second pairing with Nurse, but Emberson I think is going to get there. I've really liked Kulak so far, but I think they need one more guy back there. And as Pete hears me cry every day on this show, at some point, and maybe it happens this year, at some point the Ekholm thing is going to turn around, and you're not going to have that real number one defenseman anymore. So you need to be on the lookout for that guy eventually. Is Ivan Provorov going to be that down the road? Absolutely not. But for the purposes of this year's team, they need to be going after a defenseman and ideally somebody who can play both sides.
I love that we're doing like a crossover hybrid episode here. So I'm going to ask you a crossover hybrid question. Is there any world where the Boston Bruins, where it gets so bad that they sell ahead of the deadline? If so, can it be crazy enough for Brandon Carlo to be available? Because he's my like dream pie in the sky guy.
Okay, so Carlo, I think we talked about Carlo last week as saying like, if it gets to the point where they sell, Carlo should be somebody that all the Western Conference, we all knew that the Western Conference teams were going to be trying to trade for a right shot defenseman. Maybe Carlo ends up being that guy. If they fall far enough out of it, I don't think they will.
They would have to fall so far out of it, and the bottom would have to fall out, because the only onus on this like front office is to make the playoffs, and like that they will not get into trouble with ownership until they miss the playoffs. So selling at the deadline, especially in a bad Eastern Conference, I just don't see it happening.
I think if they fire Don Sweeney this season, then yes, but they don't. That's not really their want. Their want is usually get into the playoffs. We'll have a little talk. And then if you want to fire coaches, you get to fire coaches. But as long as you make the playoffs, you're going to be good. But yeah, Carlo, who is an unremarkable player, but the Oilers don't need
would be
remarkable
for the Oilers.
They're like steady Eddie, second, like actual like number 4 defenseman, and not a 6 or 7 guy that's being thrust up into lineups the way that we see after certain deadline moves. Carlo would be awesome for them, and it wouldn't like his contract isn't so prohibitive. They'd be able to probably make it work without having to do too much cap gymnastics, but I don't think they'll sell. I don't think the Bruins will sell.
Rats. It is weird. Like, okay, the Bruins tied with the Sabres right now for the final playoff spot. The Rangers are 12-7-1, yet their fan base is freaking out. Oilers fans aren't happy. The Avs are in a playoff spot. Yeah. They're freaking out. There's so many teams who are like, it's fine, but their fan bases are having full-on meltdowns. Like, the list of fan bases who are legitimately happy with the way their season started this year, I think you're looking at Winnipeg, obviously, and like, I don't know, maybe Toronto, but did Leafs fans should have a regular season success?
Hurricanes fans can finally be annoying and get to be annoying. Like, they should be spiking the football left and right instead of just crying, which they do in other seasons. But I consider myself a Hurricanes fan this season. They're awesome. We were talking about on the show today, of the 3 big free agents that Nashville signed, Steven Stamkos, Jonathan Marchessault, and Brady Shea. Are any of those players missed by their former teams? It's wild. All 3 of those teams, the Lightning, the Knights, and the Hurricanes, are absolutely fine without those guys. And on the subject of the Predators, they're the only team of these floundering teams out the gate. Granted, they're much worse than Boston, Colorado, or Edmonton, but they're the only one of those teams that I'm like, they will not be fine. I don't think the Predators will snap out of it. Oilers will absolutely snap out of it. Avalanche, I think, will probably snap out of it. Bruins will probably snap out of it just because the Atlantic sucks. And I think the East kind of sucks. I think those teams will be fine. The only one that I look at as being like, you might be doomed are the Predators, even though this is the second year in a row they've been like this and they turned it around last year.
It's amazing that the Preds are just like, hey, you're a young player. We are not going to have you on our team anymore.
The list of their first round picks from the last number of years, like they're all either traded for mid round picks or on waivers. Like it's crazy. The mismanagement is bananas. Yeah,
I mean, that's a team that I want to sell. If they fall much further out of it, I don't know what they have to sell, but I would love, because they have 2 first round picks. They have their own, and they have the Golden Knights first round pick they got from San Jose in the Askarov
first round picks this year.
What's that?
They have 3 first round picks in this draft.
Yes, that is right. Because last time I tried to bust with that fun fact, Sean was like, no, they have 3. So you're the second person to smack me around and say, idiot, they have 3. Yeah, load up. Go for it in a future year, because this year, I don't think that in future years, next year, the year after, they'll be such a lost cause. Like an old Steven Stamkos can still be fine if you support him with a roster and you actually have centers on your team. They just don't have that. That team's a mess right now. Also, I thought of another good interview that you should listen to. Bill Armstrong, the general manager of the Utah Hockey Club, just got to pick his brain about like what's it like being a GM. It was awesome. He was the best.
That's cool. You guys went to Utah, right?
Yes, and it ruled, dude.
Yeah. That arena, like that, watching that first game with those seats that just like hang right over the ice there. Were you able to go and stand in that area? What was the whole?
No, we sat right across from the seats that were really hanging over the ice, and I was not into them. Pete and Sean were very intrigued and thought that would be a really cool place to watch.
All I want to do is like hang right over the ice and see how weird that is.
It would be so strange. I think my favorite part about the Utah Hockey Club so far, though, is the first game of the season when Lauri Markkanen came on the ice.
Yes.
He's just this massive dude skating around. And then it never got spoke about, but he just went and jumped right into the glass, and I'm pretty sure he fell.
Yeah, he didn't know how to stop it.
No, he just jumped into the glass, into the fans, and that was it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Never saw him again. I don't know if he's still playing.
Rusty saw Lauri when we went to Utah, Carolina, which was an incredible game. Utah smoked him in the third period. Veggie was first star of the game, came out pumping up the crowd. It was amazing. We went to Utah, Vegas, which was not as good for Utah. And in between, on the night off, our second straight trip, we just went to a basketball game. So we just go to the arena every night. We went to Utah, Dallas, and watched Lauri really do nothing, but the Jazz pick up their mate and saw Luka absolutely cost his team by not playing defense. It was a great Jazz win. I got a foam saxophone. Pete got the sickest Jazz jacket in the world. We are idiots. We are hemorrhaging money because we can't stop spending money in pro shops. Please subscribe to What Chaos on YouTube. Our children are starving.
They need to buy more cool jackets. Rusty is our resident fan from Utah. He's going to the Oilers game this Friday down there. So shout out to our guy, Rusty, who also watches your show whenever you guys go live too. So great stuff. We're going to let you go because we kept you for a long time. I did have a great dig at the Bruins. I was going to be like, oh man, can you imagine if the Predators 3 first-round picks this year were like all in a row and they could just like set themselves up for this great run? But I'll save Pete and you that joke. I won't make it. Thanks for doing this though, guys. Really appreciate it. All 3 of you. Unbelievable.
Bye, boys. Miss you. And hey, maybe see you at some point this season.
Oh, is that a little tease?
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe see all 3 of you guys up in Edmonton. Maybe. Okay. Woo, exciting. Okay. See you, DJ.
Bye.
And
everyone.
Happy US Thanksgiving.
There you go. The What Chaos Boys, subscribe to their YouTube. Let's throw a link in the description for anyone who's not quite there yet. Fantastic stuff. Sean's a Bills fan. Go Bills. Love that. Loved all of that.
That was awesome.
And what could we be teasing with them?
There was when DJ was talking about when DJ was talking about the points for all the players, and we just pulled up all the numbers. Okay, so there is the Oilers obviously have not been awesome at scoring points this season. McDavid and Draisaitl are the top 2 players on the team at even strength points. Who is third? Who is the third high scoring even strength player? Forward on the Oilers. It's Bouchard is the third highest.
Third highest scoring even strength player. Points.
Points.
It's Yaremchuk.
It's Yaremchuk.
Yeah.
Who is fourth?
Skinner.
It is Jeff Skinner.
Boom.
Who is fifth?
I'll
give you a clue. He doesn't have a power play point this year.
Perry.
Adam Henrique.
Whoa, really? Rico.
He has 6 points. The Oilers in their top 8 have 4 forwards and 4 defensemen for even strength points.
All right.
Not ideal.
Okay, let's keep cruising along today. What else do we still got to do? We gave some love to our friends at Nation Beer already because, again, if you missed it earlier in the show, on December 12th, Dog Patch in the Riverdale area. It is the bar right below our studio. We're going to have a ONE Oilers Nation listener Christmas party.
Yes.
So show up. Also, speaking of which, if you want to be the best dressed person at this event, go get the Nation Gear Oilers Nation Christmas sweater.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, hope will never die. Pick it up today, nationgear.ca. Order now so you can get it before your holiday parties as well. And you can also use the promo code Tyler10 to save yourself 10% off your order. Use the promo code Tyler10. Gets you 10% off, not just the holiday sweater, but anything you order at nationgear.ca. Also, Black Friday sale coming this week. And I've gotten a sneak peek at some of the stuff. It looks absolutely sweet. So nationgear.ca. It's all happening over there. Have the holiday sweater, wear it to the holiday party, use the promo code Nation10, save yourself 10%. That's like just over $6 off the holiday sweater. And then that would basically buy you 1 drink when you come to our holiday party. So think about that. Multiplying assets.
That is exciting.
It is exciting. Let's do what's trending for our friends at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Shout out to Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Hockey fans helping hockey fans, whether you want to hit the trails or the waves next summer. They are home of the $50 biweekly ATV. You can be on a boat next summer for as low as $105 biweekly. Motorcycle squads, e-bikes, and boats. Find it all right in the heart of Sherwood Park with Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. Juan Soto put out a video, and for a brief moment, I thought he was announcing. You have it? Play it, because it's great trolling. Play it.
This wasn't an easy decision, but after meeting with a team, it became clear what I wanted to be. That being said, team sensitive. Why? You were expecting a different announcement?
God damn it, Soto. Also, Liam at first goes, when I showed you the video, goes, Cialis.
I watched out the corner of my eye.
Yeah. So
crazy. That would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would
What a
have
sponsorship.
So apparently 5 teams have made initial offers to Juan Soto.
Okay. Toronto, New York, LA, big one, Boston. The big 5, they call it.
Yeah. So they're right in there. Apparently, the way this is going to go is initial offers, they'll gauge the seriousness of every team, secondary offers, and then final offers will come right around the winter meetings in December. So probably before Christmas, I think, is the day.
So if the Jays don't get him, Mets is probably the best spot that as a Jays fan they would
yes, because you desperately don't want the Yankees or the Red Sox.
Yeah.
So the Mets
are just annoying.
Yeah.
So the Mets. You can be with Francesco Lindor and Max Scherzer still play there. Did he ever play there?
With the Mets? Yeah, for like half a season. So did Verlander. And it went terribly.
I was thinking of DeGrom.
Oh, yeah, DeGrom.
Alonso's a free agent, right?
Pete Alonso is a free agent.
I saw a thing today about Nolan Arenado. Is that his name?
Yeah, the third baseman.
Becoming a first baseman Is he taking a turn? I feel like there was a point.
He's getting
in the
old.
He won
MLB.
like every Gold Glove.
Yeah, he was like the third baseman. No one's spoken
Windhorse.
whatever.
Celsius is a metric measurement, and Canada is a metric country. Connect the dots.
Whoa. Well, that is something.
If Soto's about the money, how much did Celsius pay him for that? You
That's
gotta
true.
think about the big six now too.
Also, here's the other thing with Celsius. I have, for one, never heard of it. Can you buy it in Canada?
Yes.
Okay.
So
really
PepsiCo owns Celsius.
Oh,
What?
It's an alcoholic beverage, I would assume, right? Is it like a hard
I
seltzer?
think so.
Never heard of it. Not really.
I've
a
never
seltzer
actually had
guy.
one.
What do you got there?
I'm trying to figure out if Rodgers Center is a PepsiCo company or if it's a Coca-Cola, because that could have an impact on this whole Celsius thing.
Oh, that would actually be
Energy drink.
It's an energy drink owned by PepsiCo. Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, if anyone knows any of those 5 teams, if they're a Coke or Pepsi company,
Yeah. Just fill
let
us
us
in.
know.
Aaron Rodgers went on the Pat McAfee show, says he doesn't know if he wants to play next year, but his number one team to return to is the Jets. He's lying.
So you know me, I'm a big Bill Simmons fan.
Yep.
And on the show I listen to, there's this guy on the show is called Cousin Sal. He is Jimmy Kimmel's cousin.
Okay.
So obviously Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers enemies. Like
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers said Jimmy Kimmel was on
Epstein's Island.
He was on the list. Crazy thing to throw out there. So they are very anti Aaron Rodgers, and they just have this theory, which is so gonna happen, that in like 2 weeks he's just gonna go down with an injury.
Yeah.
And he won't play the rest of the season to like save face.
Diana Rossini had that report
really?
too, that she wouldn't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers is either put on the shelf with an injury, or she said the Jets and ownership might go as far to cut him.
They should cut him. He's terrible.
It's terrible.
And he's just ruined that.
You know where he's going to play next year?
Buffalo. I don't know.
The Giants.
Oh, no. I think the Giants can't make a move like that again.
Aaron Rodgers might just be so pissed off at the Jets for the way this goes down that he does the Russell Wilson where he signs for $1 million because they have the dead money from Danny Dimes.
Malik
Neighbors. You could sell him on the young weapons there.
I also don't think many teams will be clamoring for Aaron Rodgers, and he's got his. You got to pick wisely.
Like with Brady, like if Brady was like, I'm coming out of retirement right now, enough teams would be willing to line up just for like the PR boost and the bump of like, hell yeah, he's doing it with us. Aaron Rodgers isn't likable enough for that.
It's a circus.
It's you're signing up for an absolute mess.
Can I throw another team out there for you? I have 2 teams.
Okay, 2 more teams.
Actually, I have 1.
Yep.
The New Orleans Saints.
No, just keep Carr.
I think Carr's out of contract.
Is he a free agent? Yeah.
He's also terrible too.
I don't
So
know.
I don't know. I
Also the idea
Vikings.
Also the idea of Sam Darnold this offseason going back to the Jets to be their savior after that whole thing.
Hilarious.
I would love that too. But the NFL's been great. What's trending in the NHL? Frank yesterday doing a radio hit said a Yaremchuk deal is close. Rob Rossi today on DFO Live, which you should go check out. It was great. Rob Rossi said Pittsburgh apparently called Columbus and said, you can have any of our prospects. Basically, you can have Rutger McGroarty, and Columbus said no. So if you're wondering about Edmonton and Yaremchuk, if Rutger McGroarty wasn't enough to get the deal done, you look at Edmonton's system, basically the only guy would be Savoy. And I don't think you're trading Matt Savoy for David Yaremchuk. I don't think you're trading Matt Savoy at all, obviously.
Yeah.
If there was any world where you were going to do it, you're doing it for absolute immediate help, not for a 1.5 year project, which is kind of what it sounds like Yaremchuk's viewed as.
Yeah, I see that. He's such an interesting player because you fully expect him to like become something great, I guess. I don't even know.
Seven says Boakey. They won't do it. That's
Yeah.
not enough. Boakey is not good enough.
Because the thing is too, like I'm just looking at Stephen Ellis wrote his prospect rankings for all the teams over the summer. And another player on the Pittsburgh list that they could have, like Owen Pickering's a first round pick and only 20. Like they could have just been like, hey, take our lefty, we'll take your righty, and they didn't want to do it. I don't know. I don't know who takes a chance on him. The Oilers, like you said, just don't make a lot of sense.
No, and I mean, Mulek said I heard they transitioned to looking for picks. Even if that was the case, I don't know where that's being reported, but like even if that was the case, Edmonton can't burn their picks on this. You can't offer up a first round pick for Yaremchuk. You have to save that bullet. It's the same thing with the goaltending. Like you only have so much cap space. If you're gonna make a move for a goalie, it either has to be $1 million,
yeah,
or you have to be like 1,000% sure that that is a better move than the defenseman.
Who do you think could be a fit for him?
Yaremchuk?
Yeah.
I think Mini's a good place.
Oh, Rossi for
Bingo.
well, that might be too. Columbus would probably have to add to that deal.
Yes, but what could Columbus add to make it worth it for Mini? And if Columbus thinks they're getting a legit top 6 centerman in this deal, maybe they'd be willing to add another piece into that.
So Columbus has no second round picks until 2027.
Yeah, I'm talking about a roster player to add to it.
A roster player.
Like if Mini is like, hey, we'll give you Rossi, you're giving us Yaremchuk, and we also need someone to take Rossi's spot. He's lower down on the depth chart right now. Would you do Corrali in that deal?
Yeah.
Corrali 50% retained in Yaremchuk for Marco Rossi.
Yeah, because Corrali's a UFA at the end of the year.
Yeah, and then if you're Mini, you're sitting there going, okay, we're trading away Marco Rossi, whatever. But when you look at our team as currently constructed, it's Eriksson Ek, Freddie Gaudreau down the middle, and now you have Corrali to slot on your third line. Like, are you okay with that? Because now you've loaded up your blue line for the future. And when the Brodins and the Spurgeons age out, it's a Faber and Yaremchuk blue line.
Yeah, makes sense. People were saying in their San Jose, they did just get Timothy Liljegren. So I would imagine they just stick with him and let him kind of get some money. But he is also 25 in comparison to a 20-year-old.
Marchenko, Yaremchuk for Rossi. That's too much, I think. Marchenko's so good.
Oh, yeah, he's a top 6 player.
I wouldn't do that if I was Columbus. But
I wouldn't.
Timo Meier got a 1-game suspension for cross-checking. There you go.
Really?
Yep.
Yesterday.
It was, yeah. I mean, 1 game is just like, give him a game.
Interesting. What did you make of the, so the Quinn Hughes did not get suspended for his hit, but he got the 5-minute major.
Yes.
And people were playing out there, it's like a lot of Canucks media, and fair enough. The Jamie Benn one, I think it was, I can't remember who it was against, but it might have been Carlo, actually. Do you remember which one I'm talking about? Where like, I thought he was a lot different, but people were like comparing the two, and Carlo like bumped into Ben almost. I feel like Ben didn't really do too much, and he is like a scummy player. I do not like Jamie Benn, but just very different. I think the Canucks won the game, and it kind of is what it is and washed. But also, there's a lot of stuff coming out right now about Brady Tkachuk, and maybe it's just because he played against a Western Canadian team. I'm seeing it a bit more, but like the Ottawa Senators played way better when Brady Tkachuk left the game after fighting Dakota Joshua late in the game, and I don't know. It's interesting. I don't think he's out of there by any means, but there's a lot of smoke in Ottawa right now, especially with like Josh Norris rumors yesterday. Like,
there's no way this is a real trade proposal, right?
What about Nurse a second for Yossi and a third?
That's definitely
that Roman's younger brother?
Yeah,
I don't see that one.
Trading Forsberg reminds me of giving E-Rat for Forsberg grabs. 100%. I like Marco Rossi a lot. Okay, let's wrap up the show. Bet365 betting talk. Use the promo code NATION, NATION. Get in on a huge range of markets. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. All right, I got in on Macklin Celebrini at plus 650. Yeah. It's now down to plus 500. I have some stats to give you from the San Jose Sharks themselves. If you want truth, you go straight to the source. Okay. Since returning from injury on November 5th, Macklin Celebrini, amongst NHL rookies, tied for first in points, first in even strength points, first in goals, first in even strength goals, tied for first in game-winning goals. Okay. I now realize it's not enough for me to be a Macklin Celebrini fan. I need to be an active Matvei Michkov hater.
Whoa. Whoa.
Someone yesterday said this, I don't even know who it was. Won't even pay attention to the name when they say stuff like this. They were like, Michkov is a transcendent player. Then it was a video of him doing a drop pass. Don't let the Russian propaganda fool you.
Oh, hey, you're right.
Careful, Ty. Careful.
This is a pro Macklin Celebrini show.
Because he's a good Canadian boy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Support the Canadian. Macklin Celebrini for the Calder, or let's just continue pushing this till my cash out is good enough that I can make a few $100s off this wager.
You're pulling the big cat Travis Hunter right now.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you're doing.
I don't logic, reason, don't care. Macklin Celebrini, good Canadian boy, deserves to win the Calder. Let's right the historic wrong of players being automatically dismissed for the Calder because they got hurt.
So he's plus 550. 500 now.
Yeah, dog.
Maybe I'll throw.
I'm in. No,
you got to get in, and you should have got in last week, and it was 650.
And it'll help your cash out. If we all get in, it'll help you. So.
Yeah. If we all start betting on it, we might get a cash out.
Okay, but if we're gonna bet on this, you have to bet on mine.
So Liam has a futures bet as well. I'm firing up the app right now.
So this is an NFL futures bet because
I like this one.
we like the NFL.
Okay.
So currently, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons are battling out for the NFC South. And Tampa Bay is plus 220 to win the division.
Okay.
They are currently, what are they right now? They are 5-6. Atlanta's first at 6-5.
Mhm.
But this is Tampa Bay's remaining schedule with 6 games left. Carolina, Vegas, the Chargers on the road, tough game. Cowboys at home, which is an easy lock, to be honest. Carolina again, and then New Orleans. Atlanta, on the flip side, is Chargers, Vikings, Raiders, Giants, Washington, Carolina.
Atlanta 2-0 head-to-head holds the tiebreaker.
It is not ideal. They definitely need to win more than Atlanta would win.
The
But
Vikings
Atlanta have been terrible recently.
They have been. They got smoked by the Broncos. They lost to the Saints, and they beat the Cowboys by 6. Man, that head-to-head loss killed it. So you're banking on basically the Falcons. You need them to lose to the Chargers, lose to the Vikings.
Yes.
They beat the Raiders and the Giants, and they lose to. So I think the Falcons can go 3-3.
I think so too. And I
think can the Bucks go 5-1?
Yes, because they're getting healthier. Mike Evans just came back. They had
Yeah.
another guy come back on defense. Can't remember who it was. But they've been good. They've actually been pretty good recently. And I think they would have won.
They were in all those games they lost.
Totally. And like, you got to think too, like, who was even Baker Mayfield's receivers? No one.
Trey Palmer.
Yeah, Mike Evans is back.
I don't know. I really like that. I know I was looking to see if, because I know sometimes you think about this a bit differently than I do. Like, what if I just bet on them to win every game?
Yeah.
They're like minus 200 to beat Carolina this weekend. So you're not I just don't see any of these games where they're going to be such a big underdog that you're going to be able to get that value.
Did you see Baker blocking downfield like 50 yards down the field? That was incredible.
Dog. Also, I don't know if this was true, but he did that celebration that looked like he was mocking.
Yeah, DeVito.
But supposedly it was because he's like suing his dad or something like that.
No, Baker said after that he did it because he thinks Tommy DeVito has swag.
There was also another report about
Are
this.
you reading the Evans guy?
I might have been. Oh, no, definitely not him. I didn't think he knew
Was that an Antonio Brown tweet?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Okay.
That was
Before we wrap up, survey. Only like a day or two left in this bad boy. It's up now. Go to Oilersnation.com, Daily Faceoff, any of the nation sites. Fill out the survey, speak up, and score. You could win $250 to Fanatics. Just basically tell us how you consume our content.
Yes,
It'll help us out. It'll help us make this place better. And again, you could win $250 to Fanatics. So boom, giddy up. Tomorrow, Frank Saravalli is in. Also, Michael.
Yeah.
Half the NHL's on fire, and we talk NFL. Bro, we talked NHL for 53 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no
Also,
games this week.
The Oilers don't play till Friday. Also, we have Frank Saravalli on tomorrow, so I didn't want to talk about all the stuff we're going to ask Frank tomorrow.
Sorry, Michael.
Sorry, Michael. Michael.
Hopefully you come back tomorrow.
I hope you do too. I hope everyone in the chat does. Fill out the survey, subscribe to What Chaos, watch the new YouTube video I have up. John Gibson talked a little bit more in depth about that. Go watch Daily Faceoff Live, I guess. Lots of stuff you could do with the rest of your day. New episode of Oilers Nation Radio going to drop in a bit.
Yeah, and then obviously not next Thursday, the one after, we have a watch party here. So put that in your calendars, figure out if you can come. Only about 40 spots.
Correct. Put in your calendars. Maybe we'll do like an RSVP thing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
It's probably a decent idea.
Got to get on the guest list.
Okay. All right. Shout out to everyone on the YouTube. Shout out to DJ, Pete, and Sean. They were awesome. That is a wrap on today's edition of Oilers Nation Everyday, live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca, and come right back here tomorrow at noon Mountain Time. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.